Hi there, it's your favorite Twinful twin Tasha, wanting to share with you some of the thoughts that came to me as I was waking up this morning. I have what I hope to be a daily ritual, but it isn't always the case, which is to go through a quiet time for myself. I started, after I had my first major surgery, I started doing daily meditations, guided meditations, where I listened to someone speak for 3 to 5 minutes and then soft music for another 10 minutes. And it was actually through the Deepak Chopra program, and he has a whole library full of 21-day meditations, and it was something that really spoke to my heart, and it was a process for me to basically rewrite the programming in my brain. Like, he taught me a whole new way to think, a whole new way of navigating the world, a way that gave me clarity. I think we're a lot like computers, or our phones or whatever, where we have all of this information coming into us, all of this data that comes into us, and sometimes our computer gets locked up, and you have to power it down and then bring it back up, and suddenly it works better. You just need to give it a break. Well, sometimes when we get into our life journey and we bombard ourselves all day long with input from technology, input from the people around us, input from Facebook, all these different things, and input from our own thoughts. Our thoughts go a direction, and we just fill our mind and our perception, and we have all of this input coming in. So why is it significant and important to go through some type of exercise where you stop all the input? Well, much like technology, it's an opportunity to reset and reboot. One of the main practices or purposes behind meditation, that specific practice of meditation, is to focus on your breath. And there's a few things that happen when you focus on your breath. When you take the deeper breaths, you actually add more oxygen to your body. And by adding more oxygen to your body, you release different chemicals in your body. So those of you that are really, really struggling with depression or with guilt or with anxiety, some of those more negative emotions, you're actually releasing toxins into your system. Now, when you give yourself a chance to cry, that's the cool thing about tears, is you release those toxins out of your body, which is super, super cool. And some of you are probably saying, I cry all the time, I don't want to cry anymore. And I totally get it. So what I want to encourage you to do is to make a conscious choice, a couple conscious choices. One is you need to let yourself cry, but set a timer. Set a limit for how long you're going to cry. But then the other thing is to take some time, a minimum of 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes, that's it. I mean, that's not that long. Preferably 20 minutes if possible, but a minimum of 10 minutes a day to just focus on your breath and quiet your thoughts. Just do what you can if you can get to the point where you silence them. And that's where, for me, the guided meditations worked for me, because it gave me something else to focus on. And then the soft music in the background, because then I could focus on the music. And I would take the deep breaths. Well, what I found as I consistently did that is that I would get on the other side of that and I would have clarity. I would actually feel better, and I would have clarity that I didn't have before. And it was amazing. And the more consistent I was with it, the easier my days became. I managed stress a lot better. I didn't feel yucky as often. I just like everybody, I still have my cycles, but my uptime was a lot more consistent. Much more joyful, much more open to positive interactions with people, because I wasn't bogged down with my own negative thoughts and my own negative energy. And so it was super impactful and powerful for me to put into this daily ritual of breathing. I mean, there's people that call it meditation. Some people call it prayer. Some people call it, whatever. Everybody has their own word for it. But the bottom line is taking those deep breaths and oxygenating your body changes the chemistry within your body naturally. And it can help you cope. It can be one of your coping mechanisms to get through your grief. And then what you'll find as you practice that more and more is that you'll find your gaps between your grief will gradually get bigger and bigger. And that's what's exciting about it, because as we're going through this journey, that's what we want. We want to get to the place where we can kind of function again. The other thing that will happen is you will get clarity. I call it downloads because that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm getting a download, but of course we own an IT company, so a lot of my analogies are IT related. But so I get this download of this clarity. And this morning it was, you need to share with the twins why this quiet time is so incredibly important for everyone. I mean, it's not just the twin community, it's for everyone. And that it's super, super vital that you give yourself permission to take deep breaths and quiet your mind so that you can hit your reset. 10 to 20 minutes a day. It's the same thing with walking. If you walk for 10 to 15 minutes a day, ideally a half an hour, but if you just start out with 10 to 15, getting your blood glowing and getting your heart rate up, and you tend to breathe more deeply when you're exercising. All of that helps change the chemistry within your body and helps you cope and deal with grief better. And so that's why it's important to hit the reset button. It's so important to hit the reset button so that you can maintain some sense of balance. Now, does that mean stressful things don't happen anymore? Of course not. Stressful things happen all the time. But what it does is it gives you some coping skills on how to deal with it. Like it's like you recharge. Well, after the experience I had yesterday with Lisa, when you get into a space where, and if you guys didn't see my video yesterday, I encourage you to kind of go back on my channel and check it out. There was just this serendipitous synchronicity with the people at a store that we were at, just boom, 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 like one right after another, and the whole afternoon was just phenomenal. And I felt supercharged. Like I totally felt supercharged. Like it was just this incredible experience. And then last night I had a rough night, and I got into today, and I was struggling with my responsibilities of my professional life, and I was struggling with some of those things, and I spoke about really wanting to just be in that other space, that synchronicity. And what I realized is that's a mindset for me, and that if I continue to allow myself to reset, that I will afford myself opportunities about clarity about my professional situation and how to improve that and make it synchronistic for me and the people that are around me. And same with the twin journey. It's all about helping create that synchronicity within our community. So I encourage you to give yourself permission to reset your button. I encourage you to take your deep breaths, oxygenate your brain, oxygenate your body, and that will help get you closer to the other side of your grief cycles faster. It will just help you get through it faster, and it will still continue to cycle through your entire journey. I'm 41 years into this twinless stuff, and I still struggle with grief, but it's not nearly as often, and the breathing was a big component for me. So I love you guys. I hope that helps a little bit. Just a little bit. Every little bit helps. And I will look forward to our next opportunity to visit. Have a great night. Good night. Sweet dreams. Goodbye.